As a continuation lecture, in this lesson we'll try to find out the meaning and functionality of the Linux file system directories. Linux system consists of folders, subfolders, and files, which all of these mean directories. All of Linux system necessary information are located in these directories. So let's get started with our file system structure, and this is just a short introduction of directories, but we'll go all over these comprehensively in our upcoming lessons practice. So, as we see above, first comes root, and there's a / sign, which means it's a root directory. So all of these directories come under root directory. Next is bin. It's a user binary directory. This directory contains binary executable programs. Bin directory typically executed by system standard users, and basic Linux commands are located in this directory. So let's go inside of this directory and see what commands are in here. Like cp means copy, mkdir make directory. When you create a directory, you can use this command. rmdir, when you remove directory, you can use this command. grep is search file. Touch is when you create a file, you use touch command. When you list folders of files, you use ls command, and so on. So boot contains bootloader or other related files in Linux or Unix-like operating system. lilo, fi, grub and grub2 bootloaders and other image files are located in this directory. So next is dev, contains device files. It's based on terminal devices like USB, CD-ROM, any other device files connected to the system. For example, null, disk, and others are device files. etc. This directory contains all of configuration files. The configuration files of system can be edited with the text editors. etc directory must be used by system administrators to create, edit, or make changes in some configuration files via text editors. We can see some example in configuration files like grub2 config, or we can search host config, passwd, shadow, and so on. The next is home directory. All of users' folders and files are located in this directory. For example, Araz Ahmadov, this username locates in here, and if we create test user 1, test user 2, or any other users, all of users will be shown here on the home directory. So next is lib, contains shared system library files. The Linux commands are located in bin and sbin directories, which these Linux commands execute by helping this directory. We call system library files as equivalent of Windows DLL file. lib is 64. It's the same as lib as we taught previous one. But lib is for 32-bit, lib 64 is for 64-bit system architecture, and if your Linux operating system is 64-bit, then your system will be going to use both lib and lib 64 system library files. So next is media. This directory contains subdirectories, and it's a temporary mount for the removable devices like CD-ROM, floppy drives, and other removable devices. So as you see, here's empty yet. So when you connect one of mentioned removable devices to your system, it will create folder automatically inside of this media directory. Next is MNT, means mount, and this directory has subdirectories as well as media, and system administrators may mount CD-ROM, floppy disk, and USB file systems temporarily as needed. OPT means optional and contains add-on applications are not part of the default installation. PROS means process informations, contains information about system processes, and it is a virtual file system. As you see here, there are many important subdirectories in this directory. As an example, we can say PID, which means process ID. So we'll apply and go through all of these in our practice. So next, a main directory is root. We may call it the root user, root account, super user because all files and directories come from root, and root has all default admin access to whole commands and files. None of any other standard user can access root user or account. So root is 1. So let's go inside of this root directory. So as you see, there is an X sign on this root directory, means you cannot go inside of this root directory. And if you're a standard user, if you want to access this root directory, it will ask you password. So next is run. Run directory in old Linux distributions has not been included as a separate directory. But in new LAS distributions, run exists as TMFS, means temporal file system directory. So the files and directories in run directory are not stored on disk, but only in volatile memory. Next is sbin, means system binaries. It's a system binaries directory. Sbin looks like a bin because sbin also contains binary executable programs, but sbin executes by admin users. This is how it differs sbin with a bin. So let's go inside of this directory. Let's search user add, group add, firewall D, IP tables, and other Linux commands are located under this directory and used by administrators for the system boot, configuration, or repair. Only administrators can access these commands. SRV directory. It's a service and contains site-specific data stored by system. System directory. As a run directory, system directory has not been included in all distributions as a separate directory, but modern distributions have a system directory separately. System directory contains physical and virtual information of a system. TMP. This directory contains temporal files in a system. When temporal files created by a system and users, after shutdown or reboot, it's going to be deleted. But if a user going to delete temporal files while system on boot or active, the system may face with a serious problem. So it means those temporal files are very necessary. User directory. User programs contains binaries, libraries, documentations, and so on. As you see, inside of this directory, there is a bin, sbin, lib, lib64 subdirectories as well. So as bin and sbin directories, user bin and user sbin does the same functionality. So that user bin contains binary files for standard system users, and user sbin contains binary files for system administrators. Our last directory, var, stands for variable files. It contains variable data files like system login, mail, database, temporal files, and printer spool directories, and so on. So let us search log. As you see, we have log here, mail, database, and so on. As we mentioned above, we'll do our practice and appeal those directories and commands in our lessons comprehensively. So, this is the end of our lesson. See you in the next lesson. Bye!